Hey folks, I'm Professor Colosimo. Welcome to the spring 2021 semester of physical geology. If you've never taken an online class, I'm going to kind of walk you through some of the basics of it and then just the structure of this class. Everything that you're going to see here is available to you, but nevertheless, I'm going to just walk you through and show you what you can expect this semester. So physical geology is a very fun class. There's tons of recent events and news articles and things like that that we'll be incorporating in throughout the semester because physical geology is a study of now, which is cool. And that's sort of summarized in this course description that you see here. Probably many of you are taking this class for science credit. This is a SUNY general education class in natural sciences, but it also fulfills some MCC Gen Ed requirements as well. And here are the course dates. Here's my name, my email address. You can always email me. I typically get back to emails within 24 hours, a little bit longer on the weekends. So I don't always check my emails on the weekends. My virtual office is here. And here's when I will definitely 100% be available to you during those times. So I have office hours, which is when you can come to talk to me about your class material if you have questions on that. If you have study skills type questions, maybe you're struggling a little bit more than you thought you should be on assignments. If you just need help kind of navigating the class, that's a good time to do it. If none of these times work for you, or if you need to meet with me more immediately, just send me an email and we will set up another time when it makes sense for you and I to chat. All right, so this is the page that you'll fall on when you first open your course. You can see here, you can access your grades as soon as an assignment is graded, it'll show up in here. If you're a person who really likes working with other students, Circle In is a great option for you. It's especially a great option during a pandemic when it's not easy to meet with others. So Circle In is a place where you can pose a question and your fellow classmates can answer it. Or you can post your notes and people can talk back and forth about them if you want. And you earn points for your activities on Circle In, and you can redeem those points for like gift cards and things like that. But beyond that, it's really good for students to interact with one another outside of class or sometimes in class. And so this is a great way to do that. We're going to go through the course information sheet very quickly. I do want you to make sure that you read through this, but it is kind of your blueprint for the course. So a lot of this is going to be a little bit repetitive from what we saw in the homepage for the class. I promise I'm not going to read most of this to you. So if you are not a geology major, and I'm assuming most of you are not, there are still great things that you're going to learn in this class, like how you understand the world that you live in, how you develop observational skills, how you apply critical thinking skills. These are things that regardless of what discipline you end up in your life are really important. And my office hours again here, and here's the course description. Let's see. So the textbook for the class is an OER textbook, which means that it's open educational resource. It's totally free. So I have a link to it right here in your syllabus, but then there's also a link right here on the left side of the page, and you can get right to the textbook and get all the answers you need. It's really a great free digital resource. Other digital materials that you have in the class will be available on Blackboard. So the way that you can access them, many of them are Microsoft Office documents. Microsoft Office is free to MCC students. There's a hyperlink here that will take you to how to get it. And you also will need Google Earth Pro for the desktop, not the web version. There's a link to that here. Google Earth Pro, if you've never used it, has a ton of cool tools in it. And you do have to download it directly to your hard drive, though, and have access to it when you're doing a bunch of lab assignments later in the semester. So this is just a list of the top 10 things that you will learn after successfully completing the class. Again, not going to read it to you, promise. I want to talk for a minute about the culture that we want to build in this classroom. I love geology. I also love working with students, and I hope that you have a good experience here based on the environment that I helped to create, and then we all kind of create together. So we want to make sure that we treat each other with respect, always, and so that will kind of create something where we can communicate effectively. So when you have questions, send me an email. I definitely then will respond to your email in a timely fashion. You should address me respectfully in the email, and I will in turn respectfully address you. When you're in discussion forums with your fellow classmates, also be respectful and thoughtful then too. Part of being in a college is meeting people with differing opinions than you, and then being able to respect those opinions in a way that is civil, and is also based in fact. So be the kind of person that you would like to meet with and talk with, in all aspects of this class. All right. So part of learning is that it's a struggle. Like if it's easy, you're not learning. So you want to make sure that if there are times that you find yourself frustrated, maybe you're supposed to be, maybe that's your brain stress. But if you find that your effort after a while, like you're not getting anywhere, please reach out. Please let me know. Learning is a process. And so not only does that mean that you're going to struggle, but it also means that you have to dedicate a certain amount of time to this class. So if you were going to take this class face to face, we would meet 3 hours a week for lecture and 3 hours a week for lab. So that's 6 hours minimum you would be spending in class. That doesn't include any studying time, and it also doesn't include any homework time. So you should definitely be spending more than 6 hours a week on things related to this class. That's a lot. It's a lot of time. It's a big class to be taking in a semester. So just make sure that you're budgeting time for that appropriately. All right. And then sometimes, like I have never lived through a year like I have this last one. Things happen. Things happen that we never thought would happen, for sure. And there are deadlines in this class, and those deadlines are created because you can't learn everything in a couple weeks, right? They're there so that your brain has time to really do some deep questioning and deep thinking about concepts. So there are deadlines there to keep you on pace so that by the end of the course, you'll have completed that list of 10 things that you'll know by the end of the class, right? But sometimes things happen. And when things happen, just like in the real world, if I have a report that I know is not going to be done, I have to contact the person that I owe the report to and say, hey, this is going on in my life and it is a challenge, but I want you to know that I'm going to get everything done by this day. And chances are that I'm not a totally unreasonable person, that we can work something out where we get you back on track and set for success again for the rest of the semester. So again, if I can emphasize communication a little bit more and not be super obnoxious, like you have to communicate with me when things get a little crazy, or when you need help, or if you just want to know more about geology and careers and things like that in my field. All right, so every student wants to know how to get a good grade. And honestly, good grades are sometimes the natural byproduct of just being interested and passionate about what you're learning about. We don't always necessarily feel excited and inspired and passionate every day, but when you're budgeting your time, you want to pay attention to how things are weighted. So about 23% of your grade in this class is from 3 exams. They're hour long. They are not proctored. They are timed though, and they are timed in a way that means that you couldn't look everything up if you were just to sit there. You have to actually know stuff before you take a test. And I understand that a lot of times exams are stressful, and they're kind of supposed to be stressful. They help you learn a little bit about time management for sure. And then they also give me a better idea of what you really know about the material. But I'm also really interested in the struggle, and that is reflected in your classwork and most of your lab work. So your classwork, most of the time, I let you try things multiple times until you really understand, because that's what I'm all about. I want you to get material, and great grades are nice, but understanding is more important. So there's lots of different classwork assignments. There's lots of different lab assignments that really give you an opportunity to interact with concepts. There are some lab tests as well, or lab practicals that you'll see. And then there is a final final lecture exam as well. But this is how your grade will be broken down. And then based on your overall grade, this determines what letter grade you get for the course. All right. So So if you decide that a class is not for you, you can drop that class by Valentine's Day, and then it'll never appear on your transcript. You won't get a refund for it, but you will not get a grade for it either. If you decide to stay in a class, but then think that it's really just not working out, and that you're not going to pass the class or whatever, depending on your program, you can withdraw from a class, and you can withdraw from a class pretty much through the whole semester. That feels crazy. I'll check that date. But your class will appear then as a W on your grade, and you'll receive no refund. The last day of classes, they probably haven't adjusted this date yet because our whole academic calendar got adjusted. Our last day of classes is May 8th. And per SUNY policy this semester at least, there'll be no winter or spring breaks. And that's to discourage travel during the pandemic. But this is an online class. So if you want to work ahead and then take a week off, then go ahead and do it. That's the beauty of flexible schedules. All right, there's a link here to the entire academic calendar if you want to see more detail than that. There's also a page called College-Wide Policies on Blackboard under Students and Courses. That's your end user agreement. You're supposed to read and say, I have read this, and then you probably should read it too. But it's a great place where campus-wide policies can be found. You don't really have to worry about MCC closing because we are online, but I'm supposed to put that in there in your course info sheet. All right, and if you're a student who has a documented disability, just come or shoot me an email and let me know, and I should get some paperwork from you documenting what your disability is. Actually, no, I don't get that. I just get what accommodations you're entitled to help you be successful in the class. So then you and I will work together to make sure all those things happen. This is not terribly hard to do in an online setting, so if you have any concerns, don't. I've been able to pretty much work things out with students for a long time now. I've been teaching at MCC. That's my dog in the background, one of my dogs prancing. Sorry about that. I've been working at MCC for a long time, and the disabilities folks are fantastic, and we've always been able to accommodate students the way that they're entitled. If you are an enlisted service member, I can connect you with some great people to make sure that you get all of the benefits that you're entitled to. All right. So this is the course info sheet, and that's the end of it. It's actually relatively short for course info sheets. So now let's talk about how you're supposed to know what you're supposed to do. So like once a week in this class, I will send you an announcement, and I haven't sent any yet, but when I do, they'll appear here. And when you get an announcement, it'll be like, hey, this is what's going on for the week. These are any of the updates I've made. These are your assignments that are due by Saturday. And let me know if you have questions. Everything you'll need will be sent to you once a week. Usually on Mondays, I try to get my announcements out so you know what's due Saturday night. You will also then have all of the due dates for all assignments for the course right here on what's due when. And this is between the course info sheet and what's due when. These are arguably the most important documents in the entire class. Here is a week by week schedule of what assignments that you have due. So by January 30th, in the week that we're working on course intro, these are the lecture assignments that you'll do. And they're numbered. I actually recommend that you just print this document out, and as you complete the assignment, just cross it out. It's a great way to keep on track. These are how many points those assignments are due, are worth. And then this is your lab assignment. You can find all of your lecture assignments in the lecture content folder, and all of your lab assignments in the lab content folder. And then within each one of those, I'll show you what to expect. So this is a week by week summary of everything that is due all the way until the 12th of May when your final exam will be submitted. All right, good times. So let's look a little bit at lecture content. Right now, only Unit 1 is open. Here's the icebreaker that you will, where you'll introduce yourself and meet some classmates. And in Unit 1, you have the first 3 chapters that we will be working on. There'll be review materials in here for your exam. There's an extra credit assignment you can read about when you have some time. And then when you're ready to take your Unit 1 exam, it's right here. and you don't have to get your exam proctored again. You just have to take it. I would recommend taking it in a quiet place after you've had plenty of time to review, because you can see that this is exam is timed for 60 minutes, and you couldn't possibly do well on it if you had all your notes in front of you and were just like paging around trying to finish this in 60 minutes. Without review, without proper review, pretty much the same as you would for a face-to-face class, like, you're gonna struggle on those. And as things get closer, if you want to meet with me before or after exams and talk about them, I'm always happy to do that. All right, let's head over back here. Here's another link just to email me. I know it's in the home page, but there it is as well, so you don't have to search around for it. All of the discussion forums that you have to do in the class can be found in one spot. I do put links to them in all of the folders of the chapters where they're typically found, but you can find the whole class's discussion forums right here. Similarly, I will give you guys surveys probably a few times over the semester. You'll be able to find those here. And then these are just some help links for Blackboard and MCC type questions. In the lab content folder, very similarly, everything is organized by week. So you can see very clearly that for week 1, you have to do your pre-lab assignment, and there it is right in there, where you will use your textbook. And you might say, wait, I don't need a textbook. You don't. It's right here. And I actually just opened it right here. Here is the free textbook, where everything is hyperlinked and there's little video clips within it. It's actually pretty fun. And then here is a lecture that you'll listen to. So I try to embed a lot of my videos right into Blackboard, but sometimes the server for SUNY is not as great as the server for YouTube. So I think all of them now I've also uploaded to YouTube, so you can go directly there to access the videos. Some people find that more user-friendly, so I try to be helpful to students. And then when you go to complete the lab, so you listen to the lecture, and that introduces what you do during the lab. These are the three. This is the symbol for like a test. It's not really a test because you can submit it as many times as you want and it's not timed. But you'll use these charts, which are then also combined here if you just want to look at one chart. And then within each of these sets, you'll identify minerals, watch videos, watch little clips to understand how to identify minerals. You do not have to know anything like that before you get here. But when you do get here, there will be plenty of materials helpful for you. If you love minerals, sometimes I get a couple students who are huge mineral fans when they get here. That's totally cool too. But this class is designed assuming that you don't know a darn thing about minerals or really much about the earth either. So we'll walk you through all those things. But these are the 3 things that you'll submit. And once you get all of them right, you're done with your lab for the week. And most of your labs are self-graded. Some of them I will give you plenty of feedback on, but this one in particular is self-graded. And that's so that you can try things. So when you're identifying minerals and you're trying to figure out the properties of them and you're not really familiar with some of the terms, you can try it. And if it's wrong, then no harm, no foul, try again. A lot of assignments are set up that way, where you just kind of keep plugging away and eliminating possibilities and coming up to the right answer. All right, so that's all I have for you, but I just want to end on a note of saying, like, hey, this has been a crazy year. I just want you to know that I'm literally in this chair many, many hours a day, and I'm so happy to help you if you need it. And don't hesitate to reach out. All right. And I hope this is the beginning of a great semester for you.